Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to be checking out a P-Bandai HG Advance of Zeta kit here. This is the TR-5 Gaplant Hrairoo with gigantic arm unit AOZ reboot version here. So really cool kit. We've obviously seen the HGUC Gaplant TR-5 Hrairoo before, and we've seen the gigantic arms before on different AOZ kits. So this is like going to be a combination of different stuff, but it'll be awesome to see them all come together for a pretty badass looking design there for sure. This is the AOZ reboot version of the color, also going to be a little bit different. And the other reason why this came to mind recently is because I just recently built the Saint Armor Oracle kit, which is like an original mecha model design in like a larger 1/100 scale, but very much based off of this design, I think. So I remembered, oh yeah, I've got that P-Bandai kit. I should build that too and check it out and share my thoughts with you guys. So that's what we're gonna do in today's video. Let's go ahead and get started. And because this is a premium Bandai kit, we can just take a brief look around the outside of the box. We just have a monochrome image of the built and painted sample build right there. And you can see in kind of a cool CGI space battle image over there. Well, not CGI, I guess, but a composite image. And it's a pretty big box here. As you can see, it's in the larger size box and pretty thick. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff in there. Just taking a look around the sides, there's not really too much to see except for just the titling for the kit, which in typical HG P-Bandai Advance of Zeta fashion has a very, very long title there. So let's go ahead and check out our contents. The other thing that is typical of these kits is a lot of leftover parts, and I'm expecting that to be the case with this kit as well. You can see we are going to have a little bit of stickers. We'll take a look at those in just a moment. But first, our instruction booklet, which is going to be very no frills, all black and white, no color here. But that also has been kind of typical for this series of P-Bandai HG AOZ kits. We've just got the color guide right here on the front, which is not actually in color, but the colors are listed there, and everything is in English and Japanese, so you can check the official colors there if you'd like. On the other side is our parts list, and you can see even just on these first couple of runners, it's just X's across the board, all sorts of X's. Look at all those X's. We're gonna have hundreds of pieces left over. It looks like tons and tons and tons and tons of leftover parts from this kit. Oh my goodness. Okay, so anyway, the rest of the manual here is just going to be going through the construction of the kit. It looks like we're building the Gaplant first, and then the gigantic arms and kind of the rest of the equipment there, and then just kind of how to put it all together. And then at the very end, we do have a couple of black and white photos there, just showing where the decals should be placed. And while it would be great if these came with water slide decals, unfortunately, we just have this very small sheet of sticker decals here for some Titans markings there, some white, black, and then some multicolored sticker markings, and that's it. But in here we are also going to have some foil stickers, so here are those, mostly for like the eyes and some cameras and sensors, a couple of small bits there, not too bad, a foil sticker sheet, and then two runners of polycaps, so PC123 and then PC116, all these being in this kind of light grayish purple kind of color. And then in clear ABS plastic here, we've got a set of two of the Action Base 6 bases. Now these are going to be used for helping to hold up the arms, I believe, the gigantic arms. So anyway, we'll see here in just a little bit. And then the rest of the runners are kind of broken up into parts from the Hazel, parts from the Gaplant, parts from the Gaplant TR-5 Hrairoo, and then new parts for the gigantic arms and new parts for the Gaplant. So starting off here, runner A here is from the HGUC Hazel kit. We've got two of these in that kind of orange yellow color, red and dark navy blue. Runner B here we also have two of, once again from the HGUC Hazel kit. This runner A now is from the HGUC Gaplant. We've got once again that orange yellow, white, this light grayish purple color, and navy blue. Runner B from the Gaplant we do not have. Runner C here is going to be some more parts in navy blue. We've got two of those. Runners D1 and D2, more white parts from the HG Gaplant kit. And the same thing here for runner E. This is from the 2003 Gaplant HGUC kit, and this is obviously once again some more parts in that grayish purple color. Now runners G and H are the parts of the Gaplant Hrairoo that make the Hrairoo different. So we've got some more orange, dark navy blue, purplish gray, white parts there. And then runner H here as well from the 2006 release date for the original HGUC Hrairoo kit there. Now getting into some of the newer parts from 2019, runner XB here is some parts for the equipment on the shoulders, I believe was what most of this is for. We got two of those. Runner XD as well in navy blue, and we got 2 of those as well. These parts being from the Hrairoo 2 is what's on the runner label there anyway. Runners XE1 and XE2 are dated 2022. These parts labeled as the gigantic arm unit, and as you can see, again, more red, navy blue, orange yellow, and that grayish purple color there for those runners. Runner XF as well, some more white parts from the gigantic arm unit. And these last few runners here, XG1, new parts for the Gaplant, and that's the same here, XG2. This is labeled HG 144 scale Gaplant. Same thing for XH1, new yellow parts. This is basically for like the new shoulder parts for the Gaplant. And then runner XH2, new head parts here in white for the Hrairoo specifically. So we got some nice new head parts in there as well. So that's it for all the runners. We're gonna have a ton of leftover parts, but the kit should look pretty nice. So let me go ahead and get it all put together and we'll see. All right, guys, and here is the kit all built up. Gotta love those proportions on this one, just because of the giant arms and how short and wide this thing is. It almost feels like sort of SD proportions. I almost wish that I had like an SD Gaplant head that I could put on that. Would be pretty cool actually, to just basically turn this into a sort of SD HG kit bash. That might be kind of interesting, something to think about anyway. But yeah, it looks awesome. Even though a lot of this kit is pretty old, all the kits based on the Gaplant and even the Hrairoo parts are also pretty old now. They don't exactly look it, and we might feel that once we get into taking a look at some of the details of the kit. There's definitely some seam lines around here and there on it for sure, but overall at the end of the day still looks really cool, and just it's amazing the fact that we even got this. I've just been amazed kind of the past few years as we've got more and more of these Advance of Zeta variant kits, and just kind of really surprising that Bandai even keeps making these, but I'm really happy to have them as an Advance of Zeta fan. So this one is a really great addition to the lineup. And so we really don't have too much in the way of accessories, but we do have some hand options. You'll notice we have these closed fists, which are nice. Those are some new parts there. And then we do also have these weapon holding trigger finger hands here for both the left and the right side. Now you're really only going to need one, but you do have both if you did want to give this an additional weapon from a different kit or something, but we only have one included with this kit. And that would be this version of the long blade rifle here, which the front half and the back half are the same as like what we've seen on different like Hazel variants, but you'll notice the middle part here is a little bit different. It's not the typical kind of standard beam rifle there. You can remove these parts in the same way, and this part here on the back also comes off, and you can use it as just like a smaller beam gun there. But yeah, we only have the one, so we're just going to use that with our one trigger finger hand. And then we have 2 different options for the face. So you have the original Gaplant part of the face here, which is just the lower part there, and the single mono eye and a couple of stickers there, the black and the metallic green stickers. But I opted for the Gundam style face there on that, which also has a couple of stickers for the eyes, and just like in behind kind of all this stuff, there's what you can barely make out as a little bit kind of more typical Gundam face in terms of what that resembles. We got stickers here on the top of the head there, of course, the one long green one and this green one here. And then as for the rest of the stickers, they're for these orange accents here on the front of the chest, here on the side of the arm, those purplish gray circles right there. Down here on the lower legs, that orange accent on the front of the knee, and then on the sides of the feet there as well, a couple of stickers there. And then up on the backpack, you have the orange stickers here and this black and orange sticker there on both sides. And then for that vent right behind the head, that's not a gray part, that is this gray sticker there on a white part, and that's it for all of our stickers. Back to our other accessories though, last thing is basically just going to be this stand, which we can use to hold up the kind of equipment or the arms in the back. And as you can see, I just knocked it over now, but it can stand on its own without any issue. It's going to kind of depend on the pose, but you can use the stand here for those hard points up underneath this kind of shoulder equipment, because all like these connection arms that hold up the booster shields, these gigantic arms, everything that's all mounted onto the top of the shoulder, so it's a lot of weight on the shoulders, so the stands can help to hold that up. Up underneath the waist, though, you do also have a hard point there for plugging this onto an action base in a kind of standard way. And although we're using one base plate with 2 arms, you do actually have a second base plate if you wanted to use those separately. Now this stand as it is basically just going to help support the backpack, but it's not really going to be strong enough to hold up the kit like entirely. So if you want to plug like one of these up underneath the waist there, it's not really going to be able to hold up the kit. I would recommend just using, it's like one of your standard action base 4, I think this is one of these. something like that would work a lot better if you want to have the kit elevated, and that's what I'll be using later on when we take a look at the kit in some different poses. But you'll notice we do have a couple of other hard points here, like on the back of the arms and at the back skirt right here, which are not going to be utilized for this version, but you do have those there if you did want to customize this. And aside from the second base plate, which we're not going to use, we do have a few more leftover parts there for that, like this connection piece. This would be for if you wanted to plug it into this style action base. Here you can use that at the bottom, and then at the top we have this connection piece here, which just is basically just kind of an extension, and also gives you a wider connection peg there too if you need that for something, and then the option to use this kind of clasping connection piece here too if you want. So we've got those, and then we've got all of these leftover parts. Now there's a lot of parts for making like the Gaplant's cannon shields there that it has, so I think we probably have all the parts to make those. Aside from all these parts, which are just all the parts that I bothered to cut off the runner, we've got a bunch of polycaps too, and then all these parts, which I didn't even bother to cut off the runner yet, but these are mostly all HG Hazel parts. So as you can see, we got parts for the beam rifles, the feet, the legs, parts for the shield, the torso. So I'm not sure if we have, here's some more parts for the legs and shoulders. Not really anything that would allow you to build like any full sections of the kit. Looks like you could maybe build like all, or like parts of the arms. You wouldn't have like the joint parts, but you've got the parts for the upper arm, shoulders, and lower arms. You've got all the parts there for like the feet, except for anything basically kind of like the interior structural and joint type parts and stuff like that. I think you should have like almost all the parts to make the torso of the Hazel. Anyway, you could make 2 of those. We've got 2 of these runners, so you have a ton of leftover parts that could be good for some different kit bashing projects or something. As far as what else you can do with the kit, not really a whole lot. I guess one other thing too that you can do with the shields, actually, aside from having them connected onto these arms here, you can, using this peg here on the inside of the booster shields, which folds out like that, you could then attach these onto the back of the forearms like we were talking about with that hard point there. Although I think because of the gigantic arms, those are going to be kind of getting in the way and it's going to be kind of hard to do, but you could get those onto the back of the arm, I think it looks like. And you may have heard this part fall off here. These fin parts here on this back skirt section here do tend to pop off kind of easily if you hit the wrong way. So just be a little bit careful about those. But I do like this new back skirt section here. Definitely adds to the bulk of that. Otherwise, just kind of the standard back skirt wouldn't be anything really too impressive. So it kind of adds this whole kind of big, huge thruster unit there on the back skirt. It does kind of match the fact that we have this elongated added equipment here onto the front skirts there as well of the Gaplant. And so anyway, the gigantic arms will have a nice range of movement, as in you can move these up and out to the side. We have a nice double joint here at the elbow, which will give you a nice full bend there. And then the wrist is on a ball joint, and then the fingers, each one of the fingers has a couple of points of articulation. The thumb only has the 1 point of articulation there. Each of the fingers has a ball joint at the base and 1 point in the middle of the finger where those will bend as well. So these are nicely posable here and nicely detailed too in the inside of the red little beam emitters there, some nice detail and everything. So those look great. And on any of the new parts, we don't really have too much in the way of seam lines, but on the old parts we do. So like here on the backpack, for example, there's a seam line going down the middle of this part here for the Gaplant's backpack. You also are going to have a seam line on the forearm part, the white part of the forearm, which will be a little bit here at the front and a lot more there on the back side. You'll have a seam line there. And then on the legs, you'll have a seam line down the middle of the thigh, a seam line down the middle of the lower leg part minus the knee, so it's just the lower half of the front, and then all the way down the back you've got a seam line there, a seam line down the middle of this part for the back of the foot here as well. Up underneath the feet you do have some pretty nice detail there, again aside from that seam line on the back half. But the articulation of the Gaplant actually is really quite nice. That's just because it does transform, and I think that you might be able to do the transformation with this as well. You'd have to take off all the added equipment on it, and there are no instructions for any transformation in the instruction booklet, so I'm not sure, and I don't remember if the Hrairoo version does have that transformation. I believe that it does, if I remember correctly from that kit. But anyway, with it not necessarily being a part of this version, I'm not really going to focus on that. But let's just go ahead and take a look at this kit in a few different poses here. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty unique design, again, with the proportions of it being so like kind of short and wide, but you have a really nice base kit. I mean, the Gaplant is an HGUC kit that I highly recommend that you guys check out if you never have. It's an older one, but I think it holds up really quite well. There are a number of seam lines on it, but again, for it being an older HG, that's not any surprise at all. And most of the seam lines on it are pretty easy to remove too, so it's not a very challenging kit at all, and it's really nice. It's a lot of fun. And the only thing that this kit really changes about the original HGUC Gaplant / Hrairoo kit is that it has the new part there for the face, and then it has new parts in for like the shoulders, which ended up getting like kind of almost completely covered up, so you really can't see that. But the new parts for the shoulders add some better color separation for like the little yellow vents on the shoulders in there, but yeah, we can't really see it for this version. So with this kit having like a couple of new parts in there, and mostly just being kind of an amalgamation of different stuff that was kind of previously available in different kits, it's nice to have it all collected here as one set, especially for those of you guys who, like myself, are big Advance of Zeta fans, and you like to be able to have all these different variants and everything that Bandai's been putting out. And hopefully they will continue, because there's still plenty more that they can do, and some different variants that they kind of haven't even like really touched too much on yet. It was definitely great to have this one to add to the collection, and I think it's a really nice one. Definitely check it out if you guys are fans of the line. But again, like I said, you should be able to make pretty much all this, I think, just based on other stuff that's available from different variations. Maybe a little bit of customizing and kit bashing that you would have to do, maybe to have the parts to connect the equipment onto the shoulders, I think, maybe. But other than that, still, it's a cool kit that even though the base kit is older, it's not really hampered too much by that. As you can see, you can still get in a number of really cool poses there. Again, that's just going back to how nice the Gaplant is as a kit on its own. And as great as it looks straight out of the box, could definitely benefit from some panel lining, especially on the white parts, just because the white used for these kits is such a really bright white, and it's just going to, like, all the detail is going to be kind of lost in there and not too visible. So I would definitely recommend getting some gray panel liner. If you can just mix up some of your own enamel paint, make it like a purplish gray to match the colors here, and panel line in those details, maybe add some decals. You have the sticker decals, but I would recommend just getting some waterslide decals if you want to add decals to this, and that'd be a much better way to go. And then some top coat, and I mean, it would be looking pretty good. You're probably missing a few little color apps here and there that would definitely help to have those painted in, but for the most part, it looks pretty good straight out of the box, and you could just do a little bit of extra work and get it looking really, really nice. So that's gonna do it for this review, guys. Thanks so much for checking it out. If you want to check out some more Gunpla of the non-P-Bandai variety, you can check out the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. Got all sorts of great stuff there for you guys, so definitely check that out. And until next time, thanks so much for leaving a like and making sure that you're subscribed while you're here. Hope you guys are all having a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.